Welcome back to Tabletop Glory. My name is Graham Johnson. Today we're going to be talking about my disdain for the slap chop method of painting. Now, that's not to say that I personally think there's anything wrong with it. I think there's just a problem with how we're looking at slap chop and how it's being applied to new miniature painters. So let's talk about it. Now, the beginning of this is going to feel like a little bit of a rant, so I feel like there should be a little bit of a lead up so that you understand where I'm coming from. I am a classically trained oil painter. I went to school and college for art. I was traditionally trained in oil canvas art. I've done a lot of different styles of art, and then I got into miniature painting. Now, I am familiar with the zenithal highlight, where we kind of highlight up from black to white, because that is a technique that is used in oil painting. Although it's not always necessarily done with black to white, sometimes it's done with other colors, and then translucent layers are painted on top. If you're familiar with Ninjon, he's kind of done something very similar to this in his most recent video, and I'll leave a link to that here. Now, Scott the Miniature Maniac also made a video a couple of weeks ago talking about why he's not a huge fan of speed painting either. And it's actually for the exact same reasons that I'm not a huge fan of it either. I think it's a great place to start, and then I think you should put some more time into the miniature, whether it be through wet blending or whatever have you, to bring your speed painting to life using more traditional techniques. I think speed painting is a really great way to block in all of your base coats and to get the miniature prepped and primed for the more detailed steps. You know, a lot of times, especially if you're going to be painting a lot of miniatures, like if you're going to paint 50 or 100 zombies, yeah, zenithal prime, contrast paints, speed paint it as much as you can, get as much of it done. But if you're only painting a handful of models, or maybe you're painting a kill team, I don't think speed painting is necessarily the way to go forward. I tend to agree with Miniac. I think that speed painting is a great play to get your base steps done and then continue forward. But one of my biggest problems that I actually have with zenithal painting, or I shouldn't say zenithal painting, my biggest problem with slap chop is a lot of people are presenting slap chop as this end-all be-all way forward, that it is a superior painting style, and in reality it's just another painting style. And one of the problems with creating this narrative that it is the next big thing is that new miniature painters who are still figuring out their own style, and new miniature painters that are still learning, or new miniature painters who are just beginning, tend to think that, well, if this is the next new thing, I don't need to learn anything else. And I've even had comments here on the channel of people telling me that, why on earth are you spending so much time doing all the wet blending and things like that when you could just zenithal prime and slap chop your way to victory? And yes, you can do that. Like we said earlier, if we've got a bunch of models like a horde of zombies or a horde of orcs or something like that, it's a really great way to get them all done. But if we're wanting to push those details a little bit farther, or maybe we're even wanting to do non-metallic metal, having that slap chop style of painting with non-metallic metal, in my mind at least, and you can completely disagree with me if you do, I don't think those two techniques go together. I think slap chop's a really great way, like I keep saying, to hit your base coats and then push your shadows and push your highlights and then add whatever other techniques like non-metallic metal that you want to add. There are also things like doing transparent cloth or stockings or things like that on a character that you can't really get with speed painting. Yes, you can block out your base colors, but you're never gonna quite get it to the point where it's believable with just speed painting, at least in my opinion. Now, a miniature painter with way more hours under their belt than what I have, could they do it through speed painting? Very possibly. However, the average miniature painter, which I like to think I am, probably can't achieve that through slap chop. So, my biggest issue is the fact that people seem to think that this is the end-all be-all, and they don't have any desire to learn anything else. And that's not to say that you feel that way. Obviously, if you did feel that way, you wouldn't have made it this far into the video. You would have turned the video off by now. But yes, this is my big issue with Slapchop. This is why I don't like it. If you've been on any of my live streams on TikTok recently, I have ranted over and over again about why I don't like Slapchop. And I've really, solidified it down to this. And hopefully you guys agree with me. Maybe you don't. I posted a post in the community feed on my channel where there's a straw poll, and you guys can vote on whether you think Slapchop has its own place, whether you don't like Slapchop at all, maybe you don't know anything about Slapchop, or maybe you think Slapchop all the way. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really interested in knowing, and if you've got any interesting painting techniques that you really enjoy doing that you maybe haven't seen me do, or you're new to the channel and you don't know if I've tried yet, go ahead and post them in the comments below. I'd love to look them up. I'm going to be doing some series going forward in 2023 where I'm going to be testing a lot of different painting techniques, including Slapchop and other speed painting techniques. I do think there's merit to them, and I do think that there's merit to other techniques that I haven't tried yet. However, I don't always know the names of the techniques. I've just seen them done, whether it's seen them done in person or some random YouTube video. And at the end of the day, it's all about us growing together as a community, so why try to tackle all of this by myself? Well, in any case, that's going to be wrapping things up for this video. I want to go ahead and reiterate that this video is a bit of a rant. I think that's pretty obvious that I don't like speed painting. But I'm not opposed to it, and I think the reason I don't like it is because I'm not very well versed in it. I don't have a ton of experience, and as a result I don't see a lot of merit to it. And so because of that, I think maybe that's why I have such a poor opinion about it, which is why I would like to practice some speed painting going forward and try other techniques. Again, like I said, feel free to recommend different styles of speed painting to me, and if you're not sure what it's called but you know what YouTuber does it, feel free to recommend them as a channel for me to check out and let me know that they have a really cool way of doing speed painting that you'd like me to try. Now, I'd like to remind everybody going forward, I've talked about this before, that in 2023, it is the year of quality over quantity, which is why I'm doing a lot of experimenting now at this time of the year to try to figure out what I'm going to be doing going forward so that there's less experimenting next year and just more good quality videos. As a result of that, there will be some shorter format videos going out to kind of fill the voids, but for the most part I'm going to try to be focusing on longer videos, somewhere between the 10 to 20 minute mark, and I'll be putting out one good video every single month with some other content sprinkled around in between. Now, also just as a friendly reminder, if you're new to the channel, I tend to take January off. I do upload something during January, but it's always a pre-recorded something. And I tend to take January off to clean up the hobby space, reorganize, figure out what I'm doing going forward, and then I hit the ground running in February. Regardless, at the end of the day, thank you guys so much for all the love and support, and thank you so much for watching. When I first started my YouTube career, I was doing Let's Plays on a different channel, and I never even cracked 100 subscribers, let alone 1,000. I had one viral video back in the day when viral videos used to allow you to get monetized, and then I never really capitalized on it. I didn't have a whole lot of content on my channel, so going viral didn't really help me, and then I didn't continue to upload on a regular basis. And that kind of really hurt me. But when I started miniature painting, I knew that the community was out there. However, I didn't know that you guys would be interested in watching a colorblind miniature artist paint. And honestly, you guys, your kindness has blown me away. We're starting to get more and more engagement on the channel as things go forward, and I'm seeing a steady incline in subscribers. And I know if I can just hang in there that we're going to get there. And someday I will probably be just as big as Miniac or any of those other larger channels like Midwinter Minis. Hopefully I can be as big as Midwinter Minis or Goobertown or even Squidmar. They're all wonderful channels, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, you should go check them out. This YouTube channel is subscribed to many amazing miniature painters, and you guys should definitely go check all of them out. In any case, thank you so much for all the love and support, and as always, may your display case always be filled, and your pile of shame never run empty. Until next time. In any case, guys, thank you so much. In any case, guys, thank you so. In any case, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. And as always, hoot dang. Me. As a colorblind miniature painter, I never thought in the beginning that anybody was really going to be interested in what I had to say, or even. God bless the world, man. What the crap?